I've been able to pick up a very nice collection of custom LEGO Defenders minifigures from the MCU shows on Netflix. One blaring character missing from this lineup, though, which I was finally able to pick up still for retail like all the others, being the Jaka Punisher. Very excited to check this out. Let's look at the packaging, which will be in the typical Jaka plastic case, which just slides open. Inside, we'll have a couple different bagged items. One for Frank, another for extra heads, since he does have like sort of a buzz cut look. So it is just 2 printed heads. Also a bonus item for Jigsaw, as well as you need a gun for the character. Kind of brought it out already, but also like all the other Jaka Brick minifigures, you got the silver sort of collector card here, which is actually numbered, which he did for some of his older releases. I got 34 out of 222. And on the other side, we got the little bit of write-ups about the legal aspects of the figure and their link to their Instagram. And here is the Punisher decked out with his accessory being one Brick Arms pistol, which feels weird to me. Obviously, Brick Arms are pretty easy to pick up at this point, so you just got to find the right guns you want for your armory. Glad to get a gun, but I don't know if a pistol is the right option for him. I feel like a machine gun or minigun or something would be more appropriate for my idea of the Punisher overall, but maybe this was just the weapon he used in Daredevil Season 2 and I don't remember. So let's just take that off for now. That's pretty disappointing, obviously. Everything else, though, is going to be looking pretty good, honestly. Facial design likeness, maybe not the best, but definitely screams Punisher to me, especially with the amazing torso here with this sort of vest spray painted look for the Punisher logo. Everything else, going to be pretty standard military looking stuff. Do really like the way that the head looks with the sort of buzz cut design continuing all the way around there with the little bit of molded hair on the top. It's a little funny you take that off and he's kind of got that balding look, but it's done really well, and I already pointed out you do get a second head for 2 different facial options with the same sort of buzz cut design, and the hairpiece is going to be like a resin type hairpiece. I'm not sure the exact process for that, where they do a mold of some sort, but it isn't like machine molded, I don't think. Another great feature of this is the arms, which, there's not going to be printing on the outsides at all, but there's that little bit of flesh wrapped around there to give him sort of a sleeved look. It's a little bit different, a little bit unique. Legs are going to be nice too, with the extra little bit of pouches, knee pads, and then boot design too with some laces to give it even more detailing. So that is going to be really nicely detailed. Let's see if there's anything on the inside. There is. So you got that full boot print design going all the way around on the inside, on the outside. So that is a 360 design there. And that kind of covers this base figure here. On the head, you got some scratches and blood and all that. I do really like the facial hair on this one. Again, likeness-wise, I feel like it is pretty good. And I feel like this could also be useful for Shane from The Walking Dead, since it's the same actor. You just need to figure out a different hairpiece, since that one would be straight up, shaved head. So maybe you can modify something in some way. But let's go to the second head. And out of the face print, this one's probably going to be the standout, since you got like the black eye, a lot of splatter on the side there, and this would be his like rampage mode head. But again, he has a pistol, which just makes it seem like, this just doesn't fit the accessories given. But still looks nice. And again, the hairpiece, like the blend there, is awesome. No complaints here. I definitely feel like this would be great for an action scene if you were going to build up a mock for something with the Punisher. And all the different colors, all the different intricate prints on here look awesome. All the white on this too just looks very solid and obviously way better than anything LEGO typically does. And the fine little line detailing like on the sort of pec area there, where there is that little white stripe up and down, the black that is very thin, just blends together very well. And I guess there's even like a little bit of dark gray on the outside of the white there, where all the little details definitely work, and the little bits of like silver, I believe, for belt design, or I guess just straps, continuing the bulletproof vest around look good too. Lots of fine details to look at. We got the one more head, which isn't actually going to be Frank, which is actually going to be a double printed head. You got the unmasked look here with some scratches and scarring. I think it looks good and honestly could just be used for a random goon thug type character if you wanted to use this somewhere else, since it is the extra head. The mask side also looks good and has very intricate detailing, which I've already been pointing out in all the other prints, something that Jaka is known for. Really like little bits of like blue and red on the outsides, and the different cracking design throughout looks nice. There's even like an implied mouth sort of crack on there, which just looks cool. Plus a little bit of flesh on the outside of the eyes to make it seem like there's a face under a mask. I just think it all fits together very well presentation wise, and if you wanted to, you could throw on an official Lego hood onto whatever combo you throw together to use this head in your collection, and I think that is going to look pretty good. You know, I'm not sure what torso legs you would use to use this, but that's something you have to figure out. With that being said, it's kind of wrapping it up. A little bit of a simple minifigure, you know, it is one of their older ones. The accessories aren't super intricate or anything. Let's go to some comparisons and the final verdict. And with Punisher here, this will be the rare case where I have a Jaka minifigure with really no complaints other than, I guess, the lack of extended arms and all that. Probably should have a little bit more, just because I feel like, again, just one pistol doesn't really feel super Punisher to me. Should have like a whole collection of guns, but pretty easy to upgrade on your own. And I'm curious now to see how it fits into like a Spider-Man movie with him showing up again. Also threw on the extra head onto the comic Punisher, and I think that looks pretty good, especially with the official hairpiece there. Still fits pretty seamlessly with the design they did for the printed buzz cut going all the way around. Now I have their whole lineup of individual Defenders minifigures. Didn't pick up the version of Daredevil suit from the newest show, since I did have this one, and I did pick up the chip of the newest suit for Daredevil and the Punisher by them, just because I was curious. Wanted to see how they compare and make an decision after I have both of them in hand if I want to get rid of this one or the other one. But pretty happy with this one, and having the second head, I think this works very well too. So kind of a nice little upgrade to be able to make two characters now in my collection a little bit better. And it's always nice to kind of complete a lineup. You know, there's other random characters from the sort of Defenders universe that, I don't know, I'm not super interested in picking up, but I'm sure more people will make them. You know, maybe I should get like a Kingpin, but I'd rather have a comic version of that character instead of an MCU one. But let me know, are there any characters from the Netflix shows that you would like to see made? And how do you feel about the Jaka lineup of these characters? Do you have a favorite? Let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more custom Lego Marvel or custom Lego overall, check out all the content on my channel. If you want to help out even further, feel free to join as a member for some additional perks. Like always, I have been Brooke Radiop, and I'll see you in the next video.